Shalom Aleichem. I'm here in, as you see, in Mochen Stam. Mochen Stam is a beautiful place in Crown Heights with a whole group of Mumchim Seifrim, and especially in the time of Chodesh Elul, where it says in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch even, that we're makbid to check the tefilin, the mezuzahs. I think the lashon is the chol asher yimatzeh badek, anything that has to be checked. We try to be machmir if you could, even though halachically we could rely on a chazaka. So I turned to the, what should I call, the CEO of Mochen Stam, and ask him, please, why is it important to check? What do you find that they're the basic things that people don't realize that may go wrong? And it's important every once in a while just to make sure all is right with your tefilin, with your mezuzahs. Rabbi Yitzchok, raskin.
So something which is very, very common, probably the most common issue, is the ritzuas of tefillin. Many people don't realize they're wearing tefillin every day. They go with tzai and they're putting on tefillin on others. The ritzua has to be a minimum of 10 millimeters according to Chaim Noah.
The width.
The width of the ritzua, even though in the Gemara it does not bring a shear, but according to halacha, it has to be at least 10 millimeters.
Now, does it start off bigger and it dribbles up? Is that what it is?
Yeah, what happens is the ritzua starts off 15 millimeters usually, and with time, next to the kesher, maybe next to the kesher, where you stretch the ritzua when you put it on, it ends up becoming thin. And if it becomes thin, it's a problem. This ritzua over is very, very narrow, and it can happen over time. It's just natural that the leather stretches, and then it's problematic. So it's very important. Even not ill, just keep an eye every morning when you put on tefillin. Just keep an eye that it's not getting thin. You should measure the ritzua.
So how about, that's something that I understand with that as you work on it, it gets smaller and smaller. But if you went and bought an expensive pair of tefillin, is there any reason you should be suspicious about the writing once you bought an expensive pair of tefillin, or the writing, or the boxes, the batim? Is that something that also unexpected things may happen?
There are things that could be, things that could be overlooked. They say that new tefillin is the highest chances of there being problems, because usually once the tefillin is checked already once, so then usually the magia is going to check it over, and it's an extra level of protection to make sure that there's no nagias, there's no letters touching, or the tagim are there, the kosher times are on right, the tag elements, chesed gvura, the right tag has to be told on the left tag. There are a lot of different details which lechatchila could be missing, and usually when you buy a pair of tefillin, it's supposed to be checked over. It's supposed to be checked over by the sofer that's selling it. Hold on one second, please. It has to be checked over by the one who's selling it, by his magia sofer.
Make sure it's a purple.
You want a purple candy? Here's a purple candy. So usually the sofer that's checking that's selling the tefillin is going to give it to his magia, or he's going to check it over himself. But the highest chances. Which other one?
Baruch Hashem, he came out of his way Friday afternoon to help us out, so he has his kinderlach with him. This is not a day's work for him. This is a lefnim mishuras of him.
The highest chances of being problems is a new pair of tefillin. Besides for the actual ksav, which things could happen over time also, humidity, time has an effect on the tefillin. The chemistry between the cloth and the ink, things could happen with time. Usually though, the issue is that day one it wasn't done right. There could be things missing, could be that there was problems, tagim, missing, negias, shimitzura, there could be all kinds of things in the tefillin from day one, which we want to just be sure about. But there are exterior things in tefillin which could go wrong with time. For example, the ritzua, like we just discussed, the paint coming off. It's halacha l'meishim that the ritzua has to be black on the outside. It has to be black on the outer layer. Black and black ritzua is just like a preventative thing. There are svarim which bring down, the Kesef Arizal brings that it should be black and black, but there's svarim on both sides. Halachically, there's no one way better than the other. If you do it, if you get black and black ritzua, it's because it's going to just be preventative, so that's a good thing. It's soaked through and through. This way, even when the ritzua stretches, the paint, which is on the outer layer, usually which will fade away, and then the white from the inside will be exposed. When it's soaked through and through, it will never become white. So it's a practical prevention. So the ritzua has to be black on the outside. The ritzua has to be a certain width. The batim have to be prudus. This is another thing which very often is missed from day one. If the sefer, the Alter Rebbe says clearly in Siddur.
Explain what prudus is.
The 4 compartments of the sharash. The sharash has, you see on the top, 3 lines. That is actually 4 separate compartments. It's not supposed to be connected. They're literally 4 independently standing batim. It's one bias which has 4 separate things. If you give me a second, I'll actually show you what it looks like when it's white. Over here we have some batim, which You have to be quiet now because I'm busy, okay? This is how the looks in the beginning stages. And it's starting to be in the press, and basically there's a hole here, so it's not kosher. This bias here, this is a bias which already is further along the stages. This bias already, you can see it already has more of a form. It was put onto a press. It has four metal things that go inside here, and you can see it's all one piece of air. And this is the press.
How long is the process to make a?
It could take a month. It could take months.
Really?
The high quality batten could take. They basically heat it up. It depends on the quality of the company. It depends how it's done. The process of the
making the batten,
of heating it, and it has to be compressed.
So what could go wrong with time? Okay, well if you went and bought from a Sefer Yerushalayim and you know that when you bought it was signed and sealed as a good one, what could happen with time?
The way they make the batten, basically what they do is they basically compress this with heat and with pressure, and it becomes square like this. Now when the bias is basically it's very thick. It's a very thick earth. Naturally, so it's going to be round. Right? It's going to have like a round edge. This is after they slice it off. What they do is basically they slice off the four sides, and if it was sloppily built, they didn't build it straight. So what happens is it could be more to one side than the other side. When they cut it off, the rabbi, the guy who cubes it, if he cuts too deep, he could actually be exposing a crack. There's a concept of white batten, which actually brings in Allah as a hiddur. It's just common sense. When you take a bias from the company that made it, and we bring it to another independent contractor who understands the different cracks, understands what to look for. So you can see, if you look over here, you see how there's like different lines on the bottom over here. There's white lines. So these are just like stretch marks. Sometimes when you see a very, very sharp white line, it could indicate that there's a crack in the bias, in the wall of the bias. If there's a crack in the wall of the bias, why did that happen? Because the marbeya cut and it went too deep, so it's exposing a crack from the inside of the bias, as you see over here. You see how over here there's flaps? Over here there could be cuts. This is natural. This is the way it's supposed to be. But on the wall of the tzitza, on the wall of the bias, it's not allowed to have any cut. If there's a cut on the wall of the bias is not
that's not
kosher.
Something that you're going to find out later.
1 second. So this is something which really it would be difficult to identify. I'm just bringing out something which could be a problem in a brand new bias. That's what you asked, right? Brand new thread filling. What could be a problem? Cheap companies that are producing thousands of batten, and there's just going. The big companies making manufacturing a lot. Things could have. This is a very common problem. As you see over here, these are flaps. If there's a cut over here and they cut it too deep, you can see over here there's a hole exposed, the bias isn't kosher. So that if you're buying from a company that's not so reliable, it could be a problem. The bias won't be kosher, you'll never know. Very often you can see, sometimes on a bias that's already painted in black, you can actually see that there's a little cut. Over here you can see very clearly. Is there anything over here to see? I'll show there, you see this? You see how there's like a little crack over here? This crack, even if you would paint the bias, I'm going to move backwards. Even if the bias would be black, sometimes you start seeing it starts becoming like a little crackly and like a line, and sometimes you can realize that there's a problem. Another very common problem.
That doesn't happen with time. I'm asking
you, doesn't happen with
if
time.
Somebody spent a lot of money, bought a nice.
I'm going to get to that. Time. What happened with time is the bias can actually open up. Well, give me 1 second. The batten and quant Allah have to be reborn. Has to be perfectly cubed. If the bias is fanned out, right, and it cannot. If the bias is not square, this has to be perfectly cubed. Okay. The bias can be a migdal. The Alter Rebbe says if it's tall, it's kosher l'chatchila. It doesn't speak about any problems.
In height.
It says in gerbil bias. The Alter Rebbe says clearly you can have a bias which is a meter tall as long as when you look at it square. As long as when you are looking at a bird eye's view, it's cubed. It's halachatically 100% fine. The Alter Rebbe does not speak about the cube that it has to be arkirach v'kegaveh. It should be a cube. The Rebbe in Idris, he brings from the Sefer Eshkol from the Rambam to Rishonim that he was knowing when he would buy tefilin that he would be knowing that it should be cubed. Arkirach v'kegaveh. Not everybody, people don't know this. It's a hiddur. It's not a requirement. Not even a l'chatchila requirement. It brings him to Rishonim. The Rebbe says that when he would buy tefillin, he would be happy to do that. That it should be arkirach v'kegaveh.
Same size.
Now, the bias has to be perfectly cubed, which means that it's not allowed to be. Over here, there's 3 compartments of separated batten which have to be all compressed together. So the cons is that it should be at the same time no glue, right? There's no glue all the way from the bottom. Now the Rebbe says clearly in Shulchan Aruch and in Siddur, he says the more makbid says that you have to be the sofer should be makbid to make sure to check that there's no by putting in a thin knife to make sure before he sells it that there's no glue between the batten. Why should there be glue between the batim? Something which is very common. It's almost like normal that we should find glue between the batim. Usually by Veltish Seifrim, by them it's not a problem to put a bit of glue. Why? Because according to Allah, you got piroiv, right? You have latis. So as long as 2/3 of this from the top to 2/3 down is prudus, is separated, so then according to Allah, no problem. The Rebbe Siddur says that you should be makbid, there should be no glue all the way down to the bottom, which means that if there's any glue over here, it's not muhadir according to the Rebbe. I mean, there are days that say that if the thing is glued together, it's down to not kosher. I mean, even according to the Rebbe, if there's glue, according to the Rebbe, there's glue all the way in between all these between the four compartments, it's not kosher. Because according to the Rebbe, devek makes erechad. According to the Rebbe in din of stam. So if there's glue over here, so then it becomes like one bag, it becomes like one, and therefore it's not kosher. But if there's a little bit of glue, it's still kosher. So specifically according to the Rebbe, who's so makbid about it, I believe the Gra, he said if the glue, if the bias has glue over here, so it's like mamash, like you're putting a shayad on your head. That's the bitui that he says. It's like you're putting a shayad on your head. It's okay, I'll call back.
No, it's my sound of the chasna.
So basically, according to halacha, he's videoing, yeah? So you can go on.
Let's do one more question.
So according to halacha, it has to be. So it has to be ribua, and it has to be produce without any glue. So today I'm always hard. So they didn't have to do it properly. Even the Baal Javatanach, because a lot of the old time from 40, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, so a lot of the Batim, they had glue, and it's not being held naturally. Today already they have a kumsin to make that the bias should naturally be pressed together, that it's going to naturally hold. There's no glue, and it's going to be pressed together. They do put glue under the tzitza, but from here on up, there's no.
Why do you insist to want it to be together?
Because it has to be produce. It has to be ribua. So if there's not going to be anything, if there's no, they put glue on the very base, like under here, like.
That's not a problem.
They put glue at the very bottom. They hold it down. Some companies even put some Vaseline over here, like from here, just from here on up. They put some Vaseline. Why? That when they squeeze, what they do is they press the bias together for a good few weeks or whatever it is to hold. The bias should stay ribua, right? They should hold. You don't want the glue should rise up. That's the problem. The glue rise up, and then now it's going to be lose the tznachi produce.
Rabbi Sai, you see that?
Yeah, okay.
We're running out of time. It's Friday afternoon, but I just want to conclude with one thing. When you buy a pair of tefillin now, you could see how many hands have touched this pair of tefillin to make it. What we have a batim macher.
That makes it. There's a rabbi, there's a tzever.
English. You're from Australia.
There's the one that makes the one that builds the bias. Then they have someone who actually has to cut to make a cube. Then you have the guy.
It's not the same person.
Well, usually there's different people that do different things.
Yeah.
There's a tevei, the one who paints it up. The tevei is another whole, could be complication
right.
with that. If you have it on the
We'll do it some other time.
It's very important. This is something that can not happen, but it could be something which people don't realize. Just very quickly, the bias has to be that the 3 lines that you see over here, which we just explained before, is really expressing the 4 compartments. It's basically showing you the 4.
So you can't close it up.
It has to be that these lines are really the real nechitzas. In other words, what happens is when they slice down over here, it's flush. You don't see this. When they paint over it, after they slice it down, you don't see those lines.
You're supposed to see it.
According to halacha, you have to see those lines. So what do? They take about, say, like a pen or something, with a ruler, and they basically engrave, and they're intending to go over the lines, which really are the divisions.
Right.
And very, very commonly, we find that those lines are not real lines. It's called mechitzas mezuyafos. That the lines, which are really supposed to be the true lines, which are the real divisions, are not really what you see.
Because it's not in the right place?
Because it's not in the right place. So the original line, which is really the dividing the batim, is covered up. They went ahead and put it with a ruler or with a fan. They put it. It could be 2-3 millimeters away, but it's not the real line. According to halacha, if it's on the top third of the bias, it's not kosher. The Gemara says that the charitz has to be nikar b'chutz. It's in the Gemara. And if the charitz, the real indication of the produce of the real separation of the bias is not nikar b'chutz, and you see a fake, you see the line you see is fake, so then it's not kosher. And we see this happen not once, not twice. We've seen it many times with Lubavitcher younger light with 50, 60-year-olds, guys in Kronheitz. The guy who lives right around the corner checks his tefillin, and he's checked it many, many times. For some reason, Seifrim, not all Seifrim check produce. The Rebbe Irgisi writes, I saw a letter, the Rebbe says that when you check his film by the Sefer, you should check the Pashas and the Kemuvah and the Batim and the Ritzus. So whatever a Sefer is able to check, you should demand from a Sefer, please make sure that the Batim are produced if it was never checked before. Make sure the Ritzus are black, make sure the Ritzus are white enough, make sure everything is in order, because these things can be ma'akev.
Okay, Rabbi Say, as you see, this is the tip of the iceberg. Elo, you check your tefillin. Now you know a little what kind of issues there could be. So everybody is, in this time of the year, always looks for to go above and beyond the letter of the law. But according to Rabbi Raskin, it comes out this is not even above and beyond. This is the basic letter of the law. And by this, the Eibishter tells us that we have a ksiva v'chsima tova. What do you want to show me?
No, there are a few things which Pasha just maintenance. We need like a maintenance guide. Still a maintenance guide. 4 things to keep.
If you want to get the maintenance guide, what's your website? Or you want to see more? Mochenstam.com. Or you want to have any information? Mochenstam.com. All right. Shkoyach Rabbi Raskin.